Of course, health care reform continues to be the #1 topic nationally and among many New Mexicans as well. And joining us now to talk more about health care reform is New Mexico Congressman from the 1st Congressional District, Martin Heinrich. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Well, I know you've been on summer recess, which is about to come to an end. I know you've heard from a lot of New Mexicans about health care, some of them very vocally.
Sure.
What are they telling you? What have you heard?
You know, two of the issues that really come up over and over again are that people who are working hard and, you know, fully employed just can't get insurance because they have diabetes or a heart condition. You know, fixing some of those pre-existing condition issues, I think, is enormous. That and with seniors, just plugging the donut hole in Medicare Part D, I hear that over and over again.
And so you feel like those are the two things that, two of the big reasons why healthcare has to happen.
Well, we have to bring stability to the whole system. I mean, right now, if we continue to let healthcare eat up a bigger and bigger piece of our economy, it keeps us from being able to compete with other nations around the world. So we have to bring prices down, bring some stability to the system, and make sure that we protect some things that are working, like Medicare.
Now, the president, there is not a specific plan out there yet. The president is going to lay out his wish list come Wednesday. Yeah. What do you think he should say in that, or what do you think he should say? And did he get too late of a start on this as far as laying out his preference?
Well, I think if this were easy, you know, it would have been done 20 or 30 years ago. But I'm really looking forward to the joint address. I hope that he supports some of the things I just talked about. I hope he comes out strongly for a public option for those people who want it, and for choice, because I really think that people, if they like their doctor, even if they like their insurance company, they should be able to make that choice and do what's right for them. And if they like a public option, they should have that choice too.
Obviously, you're in favor of a public option. Others say it's a dead issue. Do you say it's on life support right now?
Well, in the House, it has an enormous amount of support. Whether it has enough support to hit the 60-vote margin in the Senate is another question, and we'll just have to see where the negotiations go in the Senate.
And of course, part of the problem from the Democratic standpoint is the blue dog Democrats, Southern Democrats, conservative Democrats. Can they be won over? How much compromising does there have to be until we get the two sides together on this?
Well, I think on the House side, the Blue Dogs are not necessarily all of one mind on many of these issues, and there are other very important blocks. I mean, there's a large group of us working on regional disparity issues. New Mexico doesn't get paid as much as South Florida and Boston when it comes to reimbursement rates, and we're working hard to fix those things for states like New Mexico. And so there are a number of different factions out there, and I think we just need to get together and do something the best plan we can for America.
Well, believe it or not, there are other issues out there besides health care reform, and I know you've been gracious enough to stay around for a second segment in our next hour, and we'll talk about some of those in about an hour from now. In our first hour, we had a chance to talk with New Mexico Congressman Martin Heinrich about health care reform and where that's headed. In this next segment, we want to talk about the other issues on Capitol Hill that you'll be dealing with. And again, thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Of course, we're concerned about health care reform and that big debate, but also the economy. Where do you see the economy right now? Do we need more stimulus money? Did that first package even work?
You know, I think right now we've got to make sure that the original stimulus package worked. And it is working in places around the country like central New Mexico. We've seen nearly $30 million invested at Kirtland Air Force Base in construction and in projects that will save the base an enormous amount of money over time, energy efficiency projects and other things that will keep them off the BRAC list further on down the line. We've also seen those dollars flow here for our renewable energy technology businesses in companies like MCOR and others that have accessed those funds to do the cutting-edge research that is really providing the next wave of jobs for New Mexico.
Of course, unemployment's a big concern. Normally, New Mexico's a little bit insulated, but our unemployment rate here is as high as it's been in a long time. Do you see that stabilizing now?
Well, there's some good indications for the long term. We're finally seeing housing starts take off again, and some of the fundamentals. Employment is always the last thing to catch up with the change in trends, and we still have our work cut out for us. This is the worst economic downturn in 80 years. It took us a long long time to get into this ditch. We're not going to get out of it overnight, and we need to keep working on it.
One of the things you're working on that you've taken a very personal interest in is saving the tacos, the air group from the Air National Guard. Where does that stand, and how much more work has to be done to save them?
Well, we've had a couple of legislative victories in the House, including language in both the authorization and appropriations bills saying we're going to keep the tacos flying until the Air Force comes up with a new mission. But we still have our work cut out for us. The Senate still has to include the same language, and we're still battling it out with the Air Force over what the future of the tacos will be. And I think we need to unite around keeping the tacos in a flying mission that really suits them well, and that keeps those jobs, those 1,000 jobs here in Albuquerque.
Well, there's as far as another topic that people are really talking about, it's the H1N1 virus, swine flu.
Yep.
On one hand, you have people saying the government's overreacting. You have others very concerned that there won't be the vaccine in time. Your job, in part, is to make sure that this nation's prepared for that.
Absolutely, and I really don't think the government's overreacting. I think we really need to just educate the public, make sure people are vigilant, and are doing the basic things that we all talked about last winter. We're going to have a tough flu season, and people need to be prepared for that. They need to be washing their hands. They need to be doing those common sense sorts of things. And if not, we're going to have kids out of school, and that's another drag on the economy. So I don't think anybody needs to be losing sleep over the H1N1 virus at this point. But we all need to be careful, because that's how we take care of our community.
All right. Well, I hope you're rested and ready to go back to work.
Well,
not that you had any downtime anyway.
I'm rested, but I'm not looking forward to leaving the sunshine here and going back to the humidity. But
I'm sure not. Congressman Heinrich, thank you so much for being with us.
It's great to be here.
Really
Thank you.
Appreciate it.